Welcome. This show may or may have not been done under the heavy influence of lots and lots of cold syrup. Parental discretion has been completely thrown out the window.
Oh man, JAYBONE, not again.
Welcome back, everyone, to Smash This Podcast. This is JAYBONE. We are going to be talking some WWE TLC previews and predictions. And along with me tonight is the biggest heel in the room. In fact, he's the only heel in the room because he's the only other guy here. Is Mr. Max Magius. How the hell you doing tonight, dude?
Well, I'm going to tell you, it's been a rough few weeks. I actually cracked a beer because of how bad these last few weeks have been, most especially this week. But now my problems seem to be melting away. The issue that we might face tonight is both of us might be intoxicated. One of us by beer and one of us by cough medicine.
Yes. Some kind of generic over-the-counter cold medicine. Yes, absolutely. But no, it shouldn't get too much out of control. So yeah, slightly under the weather. You've had a hell of a week. Let's jump into this. Now, as far as I can tell by looking at the good old WWE.com, I don't see anything about anything about a pre-show matches. They've been doing that like last minute lately. They'll probably put something up like Sunday morning, I'm guessing.
Well, it's weird because Survivor Series didn't have anything listed about pre-show matches, and yet they had Kane and Luke Harper and a cruiserweight match on the pre-show.
Yeah, and it was 2 hours. It's like when they started, there was nobody in the flipping building. It was hilarious. Crazy. But the only thing that they have put on here about the pre-show, let me quick find the link on here. Here it is. There is someone who is going to be joining Renee Young and Hall of Famer Booker T. Special guests including radio DJ and WWE superfan Peter Rosenberg from New York's Hot 97. So that's going to be kind of interesting.
You find that interesting?
Well, it's interesting because I don't think they've ever done. I mean, they usually have Jerry the King Lawler, Lita, and Booker and Renee. They don't usually have like outside people in on these.
I miss when they had A-Rai.
Oh God. Yeah, he was all right. God, that is one name that you've not heard a lot about lately. And you almost also kind of wonder if this is almost like a way of him getting his shoe in the door, like a test to see how it goes. Like maybe he's going to quit his radio show and go join the WWE. It's interesting.
Let me ask you this: if you had a successful radio show, would you quit it and go work for a company whose flagship is flailing right now on the stormy seas of what the fuck are you guys thinking?
I think it would have to depend on how well my show is doing, or B, my relationship with the company I'm doing a show for. Like if he's having like if he's doing a good radio show, but the company that's like guiding the ship, is like in rough waters, or if he's like that he's not that controversial of a guy as far as I know. But if it's someone controversial, say like what the hell's that guy from New York with the big hairdo? he did a movie about himself and everything. Mega controversial.
Howard Stern.
Thank you, Stern. You have someone like Stern where, you've got a crazy relationship with your radio company and you're always in trouble and blah, 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 blah. Then it's something I would probably personally entertain. But, no, this is just weird. So the only reason why I know this guy is because usually around the same time every year, a lot of media gets together and does like a ton of interviews around pre WrestleMania week, around like Access week. And this is one guy that is always at Access interviewing a lot of WWE superstars. So that's the only reason why I'm familiar with this guy. I don't listen to his radio show, but as far as the name, the face, that's where I know him from. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. See if it's a hot mess or cool or who knows. Let's see. So yeah,
you know who they should bring back?
Who's that?
Well, there was one guy in the WWE who thought it was wise to defy Piper and blow smoke in his face, despite Piper telling him no. And then that man took a fire extinguisher to the face. I say we bring back that loudmouth.
Oh, that'd be kind of hard to do.
No, it wouldn't. They cryogenically froze him. He's fine.
I'm like, Downey's dead, dude.
Why do I have to explain this crap to you guys? He didn't die. He was cryogenically frozen so he could be brought back at a time when the world needed him most.
Which would be now. Oh, dude, he wouldn't be able to handle anything right now. He would wake up and be like, no, just knock my ass back out. No, sorry. Time out.
It's really funny. I just pulled him up to look at a couple things on him, and there's a picture on here where he almost looks like Christopher McDonald.
Oh, God.
For those of you out there in podcast land that don't know who Christopher McDonald is, please educate yourself and watch Happy Gilmore and look for Shooter McGavin.
Shooter McGavin. Oh, my God. Was he from Saturday Night Live?
Christopher McDonald? I don't think Christopher ever did SNL. I know that, what's his name? Norm Macdonald was big SNL.
That's who I was thinking of. Okay. Yeah, that would have been it. So, all right. Well, let's dive into this this card. This is overall, I think this is an okay card. These are all like put together so quickly lately. It's hard to get too excited about it. But and I think they're gonna honestly tone down their rate of shows coming into the new year, at least after Mania. I think kind of depends on how all this goes, though. It's hard to say. But let's jump into this. First of all, we've got the SmackDown Tag Team Championship on the line. Heath Slater and Rhino defending the championships against the Wyatt family, namely Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. What do you think about this, dude? I don't know. I'm still kind of weirded out that Orton's in the Wyatt family.
I'm not really sure why he's in the Wyatt family, to be honest with you. And I don't mean like, dude, why? I'm like, Orton, why would you do this? But I as happy for the Wyatts as I am, and please don't mistake what I'm about to say for being negative to the Wyatts. Why are the Wyatts in this match? This is supposed to be American Alpha's time to shine. Why are we not getting that?
I completely agree with you in that aspect. I think a lot of people just assumed it was going to be American Alpha, but I think this is just another way to how do I say this? Make you love American Alpha even more because they're like the underdogs in this, even though really they're not. Because a lot of people just don't know them yet. If you've been watching them come up in NXT or even before they were on NXT television, you know they've been working together for a long time. It just happens to be that those two are the only thing that was left from a fairly large stable that was in NXT down in Florida for the longest time. It's kind of interesting. I can't think of all the different names that were actually in that stable, but Chad Gable was actually the head of the stable, and now the end result, a few years later, is American Alpha. So, yeah.
Ready, Will, and Wyatt. What?
What's that?
I said ready, willing, and Wyatt. Wait, what?
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah, I've been saying this on and off for the last couple of years, trying to drive home the fact that Kane should have been the one that was like completely stripped of the black and white, and no, I don't mean that in a kinky, dangerous way. How they hauled him off a couple years ago in Wyatt's first match should have been completely mind warped and put in the Wyatt family, and he could have been the most dangerous, most psychotic form of Kane ever. And they had the perfect opportunity to do some great storytelling as far as that goes. And they didn't do it. Instead, we got Orton, and it's like, oh my god, the Kane thing would have been so easy, and would have been so fun to watch Kane just completely unravel and be a part of this, wacky team. And instead, you've got Randy Orton making googly eyes and sometimes shiny, glowing gold eyes at Harper. It's I don't know, dude. But
And I got a question. While we're on the subject of the Wyatt family,
shoot.
where's our missing Wyatt family member?
Oh, Mr. Eric Rowan. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen any actual update on why he's missing in action.
He got injured right as Harper. It was either he did come back or was about to come back, and that's when he got injured. And I'm assuming it was something equally as devastating because he's been gone for a few months now. But no, and that's one of the things that's interesting. Some guys you hear updates on like all the time. Like Finn Balor, you hear stuff on Finn Balor like at least once a week. Whether the story has changed or not, you hear updates. When it comes to a guy like Eric Rowan, you don't hear shit. It's well, yeah, it's like obviously there's fans out there that want him back. I think he's a big badass. I can't wait till he comes back. I think he and Harper are a great tag team. Should have had gold a couple years ago, But instead, it looks like I think Bray Wyatt, for the first time ever, is actually going to touch some championship gold here. Or in this case, sorry, the belts are not gold. They're, silver. Do you think the Wyatts are definitely gonna take the win on this one, or do you think Heath and Rhino are gonna come out of and actually defend successfully? What do you think?
Actually, as much as I think that Heath Slater and Rhino are working way better than anybody could have possibly imagined, I'm going with the Wyatts walking out with gold for the first time. Oh, I'm sorry, walking out with silver, because if you're going to correct yourself, I'm just going to correct myself.
Blue and silvers. Yeah. I mean, I can understand. The only thing I think that would honestly prevent them from winning is if they put the whole factor of slight dissension in the ranks, with Harper being out there and screwing up and costing Bray and Orton the titles. That's the only thing I can actually see preventing them from not winning.
Actually, I could see one of two, or one or both of these other possible scenarios happening before Harper accidentally screws things up. I could see either one of two teams, or maybe both, coming out to the ring and interfering, and that would either be American Alphas and or the Usos.
Oh, the Usos. That'd be interesting. Seeing as they're badasses now, and obviously have something to prove. By the way, I am really glad that they are heels. Even if they change their wardrobe like every flippin' week to doing different, very hip street clothes, I'm still happy about it. I still think they need to stop stealing Naomi's shoes, though. They need to stop that.
Actually, my understanding is that she got the shoe idea from the Usos, so she stole it from them. They may not have debuted it on TV before her. I'm not sure how that all went down, but my understanding is she stole it from them, so she needs to stop stealing from her husband.
Looks better on her, though. The whole glowing Naomi thing, I like it. It's not my favorite thing out there, but I like it. I'm sorry, if you're glowing, you can't be badass heels. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I don't like the glowing. I really don't. It's almost as bad as all red everything.
Did you? It's not all red everything. It's all holy shiny green. Holy shit.
And I'll tell you, I would change one word in there, but keep that phrase the same, and even have it even mean the same thing. I'd change it to all ginger everything.
Okay. Nice.
Love me some Becky. Don't worry, Becky. We'll get to your match very soon. I promise, lovely lady.
Oh, yes. Yes. Very soon. But next, and one last quick thing on that tag match. I don't think and you know what? I think this is the only match on the card, unless they do something like last minute for shits and giggles. I don't think there's a stip on this match. This is like the only match on the card in TLC, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. Now, I don't want to jinx this either, because I was jokingly thinking to myself earlier today, well, what the hell? Where is the stairs match? And if I did jinx it there, then I apologize to the entire WWE universe.
Actually, the only stip on the Nikki Bella Carmella match is just that it's no DQ. It's not it's not a standard TLC match. It's just flat out no DQ. Because usually what you get is you get a tables match, you get a ladders match, you get a chairs match, and you get a TLC match. Yeah. And then any other matches on the card are usually just standard matches, and they typically don't use the weapons in those matches. But since we have a no DQ match on the card, expect something to happen.
Yeah.
And really, when you have Sister Abigail on your side, I mean the move, not the person, do you really need to use the weapons?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That is quite the weapon in itself. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Nonetheless, I think it'll be a fun match.
Uh, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure if I took a Sister Abigail, not only would I be done and pin me, but as soon as I got to the back, I'd be washing my mouth out with soap.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because that would be horrible. All right, next we have a chairs match between Kalisto and Baron Corbin. Now, this, in theory, and hopefully, should be the end of this feud. I think this has gone on long enough. I I like the feud, um, but what it was surrounding was kind of upsetting in the last pay per view because Kalisto was having a match with Brian Kendrick for the cruiserweight division, and well, Kalisto failed to win because this guy interfered, Mr. Baron Corbin. And speaking of Baron, shout out to Baron. Couldn't join us tonight. Had some technical difficulties. We'll get him back on Smash This Podcast real soon.
Wait, I think what you mean is he was having an issue getting a hold of his dealer, and I'm just kidding, Baron. I'm sorry, I shouldn't rat you out like that. He had technical difficulties.
No, it truly was technical difficulties, but that is funny. Uh, so, so yeah, Kalisto versus Baron Corbin. What do you think about this dude?
I'm a little bit annoyed by this storyline. And the reason I'm annoyed by it is I don't like the fact that they had this storyline cost the cruiserweights moving to SmackDown. I was all excited.
You think a lot of people were looking forward to that?
I know I was. I think they'd be better off on SmackDown. You're not using anything properly on Raw right now anyway with your 3-hour format. Why not move the cruiserweights to SmackDown? That cuts down on what you have to focus on to handle on Raw and gives you a little less divided focus.
Do you think that would have been too much, though, considering 205 Live is on after SmackDown?
Not really, because how many matches are you going to have in a 2-hour SmackDown that's from the Cruiserweight division? You're probably going to have, at most, 2 Cruiserweight matches. So then you got 205 Live after that, and you're fine then.
Or at least one really, really good one. But, yeah
exactly.
Yeah. And that's about, honestly, as much as we get from Raw anyways. We usually get one that's and one that's, really good. So, oh well. But yeah, Kalisto versus Baron Corbin, chairs match. Yeah, it's a gimmick match, but, and I keep hearing people say that size matters in this match. But man, if you got a weapon in your hand, I'd say it's pretty even, honestly. It's going to just depend on who gets whacked the hardest first, I think, is what's going to make a big difference in this. This could be over in a minute,
I think in the last few months, we've seen that even without a weapon, Kalisto has, in some cases, held his own against Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
When Baron Corbin gets the drop on him, clearly Baron Corbin has the advantage. He's the size advantage, the strength advantage, the height advantage. But Kalisto has shown that he can hold his own. And if they're in an actual match facing off, in my opinion, that means Kalisto will not be ambushed necessarily, because it might happen. You never know. I mean, I don't book this shit, so what do I know? But Kalisto's not necessarily getting ambushed. He's going to be face-to-face with him, and they're going to do the match. So I think this will be a decent match. You're putting power versus size. However, I'd like to remind you that we've seen this match before. And and I'm going to ask you in a minute who won. They had Rey Mysterio according to one member of this household, Kalisto's daddy, taking on the Big Show, who looks like he's eaten Baron Corbin 5 times over.
Oh my!
And who kept winning the matches in Ray versus Big Show?
I think Ray did.
Yeah, Ray won the majority of the matches. Which I'm not saying Kalisto is going to win this match. Just for the record, I haven't stated my prediction yet. I'm just pointing out that we've seen that little guy go over. As Bar and I were talking, though, one night, you can't have Ray go over in almost every match against Big Show because, yes, while speed does win out, that strength, if it connects, you're fucked and you're down.
Yeah.
Especially when you're that small. So, I'm looking for this to be Kalisto trying to get Baron Corbin off his feet and Baron trying to slow down Kalisto. I think I'm actually going to go with Baron Corbin to win this one.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, dude. I think they're more inclined, and if you think of a big picture, I think they're more inclined to try to push Baron more than Kalisto at this point. You know, that's my thinking. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Baron Corbin. You know, he seems like he's finally starting to get out of pre-show hell. That's assuming this match doesn't get... Oh, there I go, jinxing shit again. That's assuming this match doesn't get put on the pre-show. I'm horrible, I'm sorry.
I don't think it will, and here's why. Look at how many matches we have scheduled, and it's already Friday night, 2 days before the pay-per-view. We have 6 matches on this card. Now, while I could easily book these 6 matches to fill a 3 to 4 hour period and have it be entertaining, I'm better than most of the WWE bookers. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just pointing out the fact that I could book a better event with just a couple of cans of paint and a wall, and everyone would be watching paint drying than some of the way these bookers have been booking matches. That's the point I'm making. But with 6 matches, I don't foresee this one getting moved to pre-show. I see it remaining on the main card because with these 6 matches, they're going to fill their time. And if you take one off, then you might fall a little short on your time.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Corbin is going to take this one. But hey, who knows? Nonetheless, you know, anything with a little extra violence, I'm not complaining. And we are certainly going to see plenty of that this Sunday. Let's see. Let's get into...
if Baron swings that chair just right, that may be the end of the violence and feasibly the end of Kalisto.
Yeah, right? And the Kalisto for a while, yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'm almost rooting for that.
She's going to be swatting some flies. The little fly Kalisto. All right, let's jump into this next one. The Intercontinental Championship being defended by The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler in a ladder match. Very fond of ladder matches. You really can't go wrong with that. Usually these guys do a pretty good job of, using the ladders, clobbering each other with them. And
whoa, hold on just a second. What you just said is tantamount to chanting CM Punk.
Uh-oh.
You used that C word, and if Vince heard it, we'd all be fired, okay?
Oh, I won't, I promise.
There's 2 great things about this match that I want to point out. First off, there's the stipulation. Daniel Bryan, or maybe it was Shane, either way, it's a great stipulation, said that win or lose, this will be the last time these 2 face each other. So if Dolph Ziggler walks out of there with the title, Miz does not get a rematch against Dolph. Period. End of story.
That's interesting.
The second thing I want to point out is Dolph is probably as far as, and I'm not trying to take away from what Miz can do, but Dolph is probably the power in this match, and Miz is probably the speed. So you've kind of got an opportunity to recreate the magic of HBK versus Razor Ramon.
Yeah, I'll buy that too. These two do have very good chemistry in the ring together. Now, even though this is, I don't know what number time these two have faced. I didn't do that much research going into this. But these two are bound to put on a hell of a show. Are you a fan of this feud?
Actually, I am. This is currently one of my favorite feuds.
Yeah.
Now, give you a little background on how I feel about these guys. I hated the Spirit Squad with a fiery passion.
Okay.
My favorite member of the Spirit Squad is not one of the two that came back as part of this feud. He's the one that put on the bandana in the match against D-Generation X and had Shawn backing away because he already had a bloody nose at that point. And here he goes putting on that bandana going into the crane kick. It was amazing. I thought the guy had beautiful timing. I thought he was very skilled in the ring, and yet he's one of the only ones that has not had a solo shot in the WWE. Because you got to consider what the other two did recently is their solo shot in the WWE. But with Miz, but I'm a huge fan of Dolph Ziggler, the show off, not the hi, I'm Dolph Ziggler. Hi, I'm Dolph Ziggler. Hi, I'm Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler. I love the show off. I think the show off is very entertaining. I think he's great in the ring. Rowdy makes a great point that he's better as a chaser when it comes to titles as opposed to having the title because he is so good at selling.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch him sell. The Miz, I never used to like The Miz. And the reason for that is he was doing the Diva Search years back. And he would come out onto the stage and he was emceeing and he would make the announcement and he would look down at his hand where he had written the number. This was something that pissed me off with The Rock when The Rock was feuding with John Cena. He would look down at his hand where he had written the number and he would misread the number that they needed to text. And I was like, come on, this guy is just, I don't get it. Why is this guy getting pushed so much? And then one night after he won the heavyweight title, he was on Conan O'Brien. And he was sitting there, and Conan asked him to give him a nickname. And Miz looked at him for a second and said, you would be the Ginger Ninja. Off the top of his head, he came up with that. It only took him like 2 seconds, and boom, he hit him with that.
Yeah.
And then he asked him to give him a kind of a catchphrase. And the Miz looked at him, thought about it for a second, and boom, hit a catchphrase with him. I thought he was amazing in that interview. I started looking at him in a new light. I'm a fan. I think The Miz is an underrated wrestler. There's too many people out there that don't hate him because he's a heel. They hate him because they think he can't wrestle or they think he's boring. I think they're wrong. And I think they need to reevaluate and actually pay a little more attention to what The Miz does. The Miz can work a crowd like no other. And him and Daniel Bryan, their exchange of words has been phenomenal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This match, I think, is... as much as I'm looking forward to two of the other matches on the card, because I'm kind of looking forward to the tag match. The two matches I'm looking forward to the most are the actual TLC match and the women's title match. But I think this match will probably be match of the night because these two are so amazing in that ring. And like you said, they have great chemistry together. I'm going to call it now. This will be the match of the night no matter who wins.
Yeah. Do you feel like, well, it's kind of obvious. I don't know if it's been hot potatoed as much as the women's championship, but I don't think you can deny the fact that this title has been hot potatoed a little bit between the two. Does that upset you, or are you okay with that as long as the matches are good and the rivalry's good? What do you think, dude?
If they had hot potatoed it, literally every match these two had faced off, then I would be frustrated.
Yeah.
They haven't even hot potatoed it every pay-per-view where they've faced off. They have done a pretty good, I'm going to run with it for a little bit, but we're still going to feud, and then you'll take it back, you'll run with it for a little bit, we're still going to feud. I think they've done a really good job of spacing it out, and I applaud them for handling this feud as well as they have. I
Yeah.
applaud Dolph Ziggler and The Miz for doing what they've done. Sadly, I have to say that something we discussed months ago about the possibilities with Ziggler, I think they're about to occur. I think that we are now watching the end of Dolph Ziggler's reign as a wrestler in the WWE. I think that we're about to lose him as a superstar and gain him as a road agent or something backstage. So that's leading into what I'm going to say next about my prediction. I see Miz walking out of there as the champion. I see Dolph thanking the crowd that night, and I think that this is the end.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and I had completely forgotten about that. And that was such a hot topic over the summer. Because that's when I
Right.
think people started really realizing, and like, little things were coming out in the news about him possibly being done at the end of summer, and we're
If
coming
you
to
want
the end
my
of the year now. So
if you want my honest opinion on how this all went down, I think I think Dolph was about to hang up his tights. I think he was ready to say goodbye. He's had a good career. He's had fun. He's done what he wanted in the business. I think he really was going to hang up his tights this summer as planned. I think The Miz pitched an idea to Dolph and the powers that be, in this case, Shane and Daniel Bryan. Well, more Shane than Daniel Bryan.
yeah,
And I think Miz pitched an idea, said, hey, why don't we why don't we do a contract extension, because there are so many more things we can do with this feud before it starts to get stale. I think we can put on one hell of a show between the two of us for the rest of this year. Why don't we extend it and finish out the year in style? That's my opinion. I know there's not a source that's told me any of this. I just feel like that's what it was, because Miz actually is much smarter than I have ever given him credit for. And I honestly think that it would have been that he would have said, listen, we've had some great matches. We've put on a great show. Let's do this feud the way it needs to be done.
yeah,
And I think that convinced Dolph to say, if they'll offer it, I'll take it. And I think that convinced Shane to say, we'll offer it if you'll do it.
yeah. So yeah, the whole stipulation that this is going to be the last time that these two face each other is that is an interesting point. I'm actually going to go the other way though. I'm going to say that Dolph gets it, which will, and I'm just kind of throwing the whole possible end to his career coming up soon. I'm just completely throwing that out the window. Because we don't really know. I don't think anybody truly knows when that's going to happen, as far as fans do. But it was never said like, okay, well, this is going to be his last match. If it was something like that. But I could see him holding it for a while, maybe, and then this would infuriate the Miz so much that then Daniel Bryan has to do something else with him, give him a shot at AJ's championship or something to that effect, something bigger than the IC championship. Because this is all from here on is going to lead to the Royal Rumble, so they're gonna do a slow burn on this whole feud going into that.
Well, think about this, okay? Because you're right, this is going to lead into the Royal Rumble. But think about this. With all the great things that the Miz has done, and I'm playing devil's advocate on my own point here.
Okay.
With the Rumble coming up, let's say you're right that Ziggler gets the belt. It would feel to me like it would make sense to have Miz win the Royal Rumble at that point.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Because I've been saying this for at least the last year or two. I think Miz, how do I say this? I think when Miz was WWE champ before, when he was feuding with Cena and The Rock was doing his big comeback at the same time, I think a lot of people hated The Miz because they didn't feel like The Miz deserved it yet. Like it was given it to him like too early, But I think he's at the point now where if he gets it again, he really deserves it, and he could he could blow his last championship reign completely out of the water. I
agree.
would love to see him somehow, some way as WWE champ again. But
Agreed.
how that would all unfold, I have absolutely no clue, because there's so many things going on in the WWE right now.
Here's something that we don't know yet. We're not going to know this until we get closer to the Rumble. Is the stipulation like it was before during the brand split, the previous brand split, that if you win the Royal Rumble, you get your choice of title? Now, in my opinion, that should be open to any title. If I go in there and win the Royal Rumble and decide I'm going to get myself a tag team partner and I'm going to go after the New Day and take their belts, I should be allowed to do that if I win the Royal Rumble, right? And I mean, because technically, although actually the wording used to be the winner of the Royal Rumble gets a main event match at WrestleMania. That was the wording on it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It never stated that you had to go after any of the titles.
Yeah.
But then they updated the wording. So and Money in the Bank has to be for the title of the show you win the Money in the Bank for. But if Miz were to win the Royal Rumble and they tell him you now have the choice of which title you're going for, do you think they're going to do that? Or if Miz wins the Royal Rumble, he has to go for the SmackDown title?
I think there'd be a really good chance that he could jump ship on SmackDown because of his frustration with Bryan and be like, you know what? You tried to hold me down and you're not going to do it anymore. So I'm going to go and I'm going to challenge whoever the current Universal Champion is for the title. I think that would be incredible. And then jump in the same aspect, then jump the Raw.
I think that's a great idea, and I'm not arguing that. My question still stands. Do you think they're going to make that the stipulation? Do you think they're going to say...
give them the freedom?
Yeah, do you think they'll give him the freedom to choose? And if they give him the freedom to choose, are they going to let him choose which title he goes for from that show? So, for example... Miz win. You know what? Let's go with Braun Strowman. He's not going to win. He's in my personal opinion, he's the odds-on favorite to be the Santino Morello this year. Get into that Rumble, get knocked out immediately because they're going to have 8 guys in the ring. Here comes Braun. They're going to be like, screw this. Boom. All 8 of them throw him out. But let's say Braun wins. Okay?
Okay.
Now, Braun wins the match. Now, he's guaranteed a main event title shot at WrestleMania. If I'm Braun Strowman and I decide, hey, you know what I want to do? There's a couple other big guys on the roster that I could work with. I'm going to team up with one of them and go for the tag titles. Personally, I think they should allow that.
You want to completely fantasy book something crazy like that and have him pull someone out of completely left field, not even with the company, and bring back a guy like Johnny Mundo, a.k.a. John Morrison, and put back together that classic tag team of Morrison and Miz. What do they call themselves? They called themselves something, wasn't it?
Oh, I know. It was Too Cool.
Oh, that's... Nah, dude, that was... You're close, but no.
That was a joke. I can't believe you were about to tell me who it really was. I know who it really was.
It's the medicine, dude. Be nice.
Listen, here's the problem. I think right now, if we had both you and Baron on the show, you would be competition with Baron right now to see who's the highest.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think he'd still beat me by a long shot. Because if I had that much cold syrup in me, yeah, we wouldn't be doing this. So, I think he can hold...
Apparently,
I think he can hold his syrup a lot better than I can.
Just for future reference, if you go to Wikipedia and you try to pull up The Miz, it's going to make you put in the word "the." You can't just type Miz and find him, apparently.
Oh, nice.
Let's see. Television career, pro wrestling, Tough Enough, main roster debut. Let's see. The Miz debuted at SmackDown as the SmackDown host. Diva Search, brief absence. Extreme Expose. Oh, the Extreme Expose. I love that show. But then again, Kelly was fucking hot. Here we go. On November, this is what I'm looking for. Teaming with John Morrison. I'm not seeing it in here. No, that says Show Miz. Do a perform ECW, blah blah blah. I'm not really seeing what they called themselves. Maybe it was Morrison and the Miz.
Oh, maybe it was. I could have sworn they called themselves something at some time, because then they even were doing those goofy little comedic like acts, like promos together.
Right, but and I thought so too. I could have sworn that they had a team name, but everything I'm seeing on Wikipedia has them listed as John Morrison and the Miz, which I don't remember that being what it was. Let's go to WWE.com, because they were tag team champions. So, so we will go to WWE.com.
Superstars.
Former tag team champion. Oh, I figured it out. I know who's going to win the Royal Rumble.
Oh, no.
You want to know? You want to know? I'll tell you. I'm going to. You know what? I don't care if you want to know. I'm going to tell your ass anyway. And you can just sit there and have that cold medicine make you go, what the fuck? Because I'm pretty sure you could have done that even if you weren't on the cold medicine.
Thank you.
The winner of the 2017 Royal Rumble, the Great Khali.
Oh, no, dude. Yeah, I saw that on WWE.com talking about people that were legends and had his picture there. It's like, no, you can't, no.
Well, there was an article on the main page that said that he could possibly have one more match. Him and others, because it said a list of people who could possibly have one more WWE match. But I'm going to call it right now. The Great Khali wins the 2017 Royal Rumble and will be the longest running superstar in a Royal Rumble ever. Dude, even longer than Curtis Axel.
Oh, that's a horrible idea, dude. Please, no. I looked up, I saw the tag team belt championship thing, and it was in the second one from 2009 down to 2002, and it says John Morrison and the Miz. It doesn't. I don't see a team name here.
The self-proclaimed world's greatest tag team. I miss those guys.
Oh, hell yeah. So, okay, well, back to the TLC.
Did you say it was all the way back in 2002?
No. I'm saying the championship started in 2002.
Right.
Raw, because I was looking at the Raw championship.
Morrison and Miz held the tag titles in late 2007 through July of 2008.
Yeah.
They won it on SmackDown in Wichita, Kansas, and they lost it to Hawkins and Ryder on the day after my birthday in 2008.
That's just good.
on the Great American Bash.
Yeah.
Apparently, this was a fatal four-way match. And your only two options here would have been Morrison and Miz retaining, Morrison and Miz retaining, or Hawkins and Ryder winning, because the other two teams were Jesse and Festus and Finley and Hornswoggle.
Oh dear God, that's horrible. That's horribly awesome, I should say. Uh, uh, that's, oh man. Okay, so yeah, obviously there are some times in WWE history where tag teams were not so hot. Yeah. So all right. So you think Miz is going to retain? I say Dolph is going to take the championship back. All right. So we'll have to see. Nonetheless, they're going to put on a hell of a show. Absolutely no doubt in our minds about that. Next, we'll jump into. Put on your wetsuit, boys. We're going to talk about the no DQ match between Nikki Bella and Carmella. My wife's favorite, Carmella. A little shout out to my wife there, who's in snooze land right now. Yep, definitely her absolute favorite. I'm saying that with an extreme amount of sarcasm. Not a huge stip in this. It's no DQ, so you really don't know what the hell these two are going to do to each other. I know there's a lot of people that are going to look at this and be like, just skip this one. You know what? I like this feud because I'm actually a card-carrying member of the Carmella fan club. Whether you think that's retarded or not or whatever. I like Carmella. I think she has a lot of potential. I do think she is still somewhat green, but I do love the fact that she's working with someone like Nikki Bella, a veteran in the women's division. Almost said divas there. You got to give me a shit ton of credit for that one. The fact that these two have been, working together for a while now, I like it. I dig it, and this is probably going to be the coup de grace of this feud. We'll put the exclamation point on the end of it. I'm gonna root for a Carmella win here.
Let me ask you a question.
Shoot.
Can we get a stipulation added to this match?
What kind, sir?
Nikki retires if she loses.
Oh, damn, that's harsh, dude.
I listen. Twin Magic has run its course. That's over. And honestly, I think Nikki Bella's time is up, and Carmella's time is now.
I could not help myself. And it is power. It is humorous how they do keep bringing up somebody's significant other in this feud. I think it's hilarious. I actually like it.
Wait, what? Who's dating somebody that they keep bringing up in the feud? I know not what you speak of.
I know. It's the whole destroying kayfabe thing in this feud. And I'm surprised more people aren't, losing their minds over that, because, whenever they start chipping away at that little old thing behind the curtains, there's a certain amount of people that just, they don't like ye. They don't like ye that. Me, I'm kind of, for me personally, for being such a long-time fan, it depends on what it is. But I've always been that guy that's been curious as to, show me what is going on behind the scenes. I'm personally fascinated by that. Now, there have been times when they've shown us stuff like that where it's come off as really just stupid and not very entertaining at all. And other times where it was like, oh, wow, that was really cool. Like when they show the comeback for Daniel Bryan and the things he's going through, leading up to WrestleMania, 30, where he won the championship, the whole yes movement. I found that very fascinating. And they showed a lot of behind the scenes things leading up to that WrestleMania. Now, if you show me something like the hair pulling, lipstick smacking, of like Total Diva is, I'm not as interested, you know? So, I don't know, what do you think about this feud, dude?
I'm not gonna say I hate it because I don't. I think they've presented it pretty well. But I'm kind of ready for it to be over and Nikki Bella to move on to her life as who's she dating again? Yeah, I want her to move on to be that guy's stay-at-home wife.
Oh, it's that dude who's like so frustrated that he's like not even on TV right now. He's off doing other things.
Oh, I got to admit though, I really like their Halloween costumes.
Oh God, that's the shit that nightmares are made of. I can't tell you how many nights I woke up in a cold sweat, bed drenched, me falling out of bed, my wife laughing hysterically at me. Oh wait, that's every other night. Never mind. Continue.
Now, J-Bone, that's how Packers fans wake up.
Okay, so the Green Bay Packers are
on.
not having that good of a season, dude. You need to chill with that.
Neither are the Bears, but that's beside the point. I'm not attacking them for their season. I'm attacking them because I'm a Bears fan and they're the Packers. But you knew that was coming at some point tonight because I can never resist the opportunity to needle you about the fact that you picked the Packers.
Dude, I'm a Wisconsin guy. I gotta pick the Packers.
And for the record, I'm not telling you shouldn't be a Packers fan. You shouldn't be. But I'm not telling you that. I'm making fun of you as your friend because you're a Packers fan and I'm a Bears fan. If I wasn't a Bears fan, I wouldn't care. And if I wasn't your friend, I would care even less.
I'm the guy that was excited about the history that they used to do 2 games a year and come down to Milwaukee Country Stadium and play. I'm still waiting for them to play at Miller Park. Hello, it's been how many years? It's time to get the Green Bay Packers back down to Milwaukee and play some games at Miller Park. I think that would be epic. But anyways, I digress. Before we get too far off the subject, let's get back on top of Nikki Bella and Carmella. That was not supposed to come out like that. I apologize. I was a little crude.
I'll tell you what, I'll get on top of Carmella, you get on top of Nikki, it'll be all good.
Dude. All right. If you want to deal with Big Kaz, that means that I have to deal with John Cena. I don't know which one of us is worse for wear after that mess.
I've got a plan.
Think about that.
I've got a plan.
You've got a plan. You too.
It's a great plan.
How many beers have you had tonight, sir?
3/4 of one.
3/4 of one? Oh, yeah. Well, then it's time to cut your ass off if you have a plan for this. Dear God.
I have a plan. A 6-man tag match. John Cena and Enzo and Big Cass versus the Green Bay Packers fan who I would set aside my football differences with and my political ones too, but that's completely a different subject. J-Bone teaming with the biggest heel in the room, Max Magius, and our third tag team partner, because you got to have someone to counter Enzo. I mean, he's a little guy, but you got to have someone to counter him. And despite the fact that Mr. Technical Difficulties is not here, Baron would be our third man for our team. I think the three of us can beat him.
Oh, dude, that's a freaking riot. I love it. Well, next time we get Baron in the good old boardroom and talk about all things podcast-like, we'll discuss this with him. You are a goofy one. All right, back into this match. Who do you think is going to walk away the winner from the no DQ Nikki Bella versus Carmella match?
Carmella.
All right. Sounds good to me. Yep, that's who I got too. I'm all about the The queen. What does she call herself? The Queen of Staten Island.
She's hot. Does it matter what she calls herself?
That's right. All right, now on to the other women's match on the card, which is a tables match. It's interesting. Very, very interesting. Just jotting down a couple notes here. This is for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Does this match follow the typical rules of how a table match would normally get won?
As in, you put your opponent through a table.
Well, that would be the typical rules, yes.
Or do you mean something else?
That's what I'm asking. Do they have to put their opponent through the table to win this match?
I wouldn't assume anything differently.
Ooh, this is scary. My girl could get really hurt here.
Yeah, she could, because my girl's on a bit of a streak here as far as a mean streak.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I'm still going to go with my girl could get hurt here, and my girl's more important.
Well, we're just going to agree to disagree on that one. No, dude, I love Becky Lynch. I think she is a great performer. She is not my favorite of the women. She is a great women's champ. She hasn't had a lot of opportunities to prove that, though. So, me personally, considering, that last match was a stinker of an ending, and Alexa Bliss should absolutely deserve another chance because she had her foot on the ropes. And,
listen, I'm going to tell you a story. First time I ever refereed. I'm in the middle of refereeing a match between Rowdy Knight and Iraq Attack. Now, some of you listeners out there are going to go, wait a minute, you told that on this week's episode of Random Shots. Well, how in the hell could you know that? We have not released that episode yet. You need to stop spying on us before I send the NSA after your ass for gimmick infringement.
That's right.
So,
what he said.
So, anyway, I'm refereeing the match. And what Rowdy taught me before the match, he said something very important you need to remember. If you don't see it, you can't call it. Okay. So at one point during the match, Iraq Attack's manager, a guy named Randy, gets my attention and says, hey, ref, he pulled my guy's hair. So I turn around and I made the hand gesture, pretending I was pulling hair. And I said, did you pull his hair? Rowdy has him in a headlock and looks at me and goes, yeah, I pulled his hair. What are you going to do about it? Don't pull his hair again. I almost lost it because he had warned me that this was a possibility. And if I don't see it, I can't call it. I didn't see the hair pull. I didn't give him the count, none of that to, make him break it. I couldn't just go, well, you pulled his hair. You admitted that you're disqualified. So here's the thing. This relates to what happened in that last match for this reason. The referee did not see the foot on the rope. He cannot call it. That's not his fault. And I hate referees.
Yeah. He just, and no one's perfect. Everybody has flaws or faults. So, we'll just say that Becky Lynch was lucky that night. That's how I'll put that. Me personally, I am a bigger fan of Bliss than Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is very talented, but there are some things about Alexa Bliss certain, I guess you could say, assets that I think would make her a better champ than Becky Lynch. So, yeah, I'm actually going to root for Alexa Bliss here. I think the match will be blissful. And I think she's going to put Becky Lynch through a table quite violently.
I agree with your logic, but I disagree that it's going to be Alexa winning. She could win, but I'm going with Becky Lynch.
All right. That's fine.
Becky, call me.
I would ask Alyssa Bliss to call me, but then she'd have to deal with my wife, and I personally really would not want to get in the middle of that hot mess. That would just be all sorts of bad.
Actually, you might enjoy being in the middle of that hot mess. If you think about it, if you know what I mean. Wink, nudge, nudge.
I know exactly what you mean. But I do not think things would go that particular way. But anyways, let's get into the... Oh, here we go. We are at the end of the card. One last match to discuss.
Are you sure?
Positive.
I mean, surely we haven't talked for 4 hours yet. We can't be at the main event.
Oh, dude, I couldn't do this for 4 hours now if I tried. Way too medicated.
I was making fun of how our prediction shows normally go, and the fact that there's only 6 matches on this card. Holy shit, we just flew through them.
Yeah, we're actually at just a little over an hour now, so we're doing good. We're doing really good, dude. So yeah, we've got the last match, the actual TLC match, tables, ladders, and chairs, no stairs. Thank you, WWE, for taking out the stairs. For the WWE Championship...
I did hear that there's a kitchen sink involved in this match, though.
I would not be shocked or appalled by that.
Ooh. And a special guest appearance by none other than Mitch the Third.
Oh. That would be hilarious. I might actually fall off the couch for that one. Just to have Mitch make a comeback.
Mitch the Third is going to be the guest timekeeper.
You know, before we discuss this match, I got to discuss something a little goofy because, I do have a weird sense of humor. When they made a big deal about the Ambrose Asylum coming back to this past episode of SmackDown and said that Mr. James Ellsworth was going to be a guest on it with Dean. I saw that. I follow James on Facebook. Not friends with him, but I follow him, because I'm a fan. And he had made a post saying that he was going to be on that show. So I commented on it, and I said, hey, James, look, you should really bring a plant. Dean likes that shit. Well, Mr. James Ellsworth did not bring a plant to the Ambrose Asylum, and I think he brought himself a little bit of bad karma with that, because if you look at how he looked at the end of that match, or end of that segment, excuse me, it wasn't looking too good. He took a Styles Clash off the stairs onto the ground, and, yeah. So, little message out to James Ellsworth. If you listen to this, even though I know you're probably not, you should definitely buy Dean Ambrose a plant. Wish him good luck if you are a true friend. And it might bring you a little good luck in the future. Just saying.
And I'd like to give a special shout out to all those haters out there that are bitching about Ellsworth beating AJ Styles to get that contract, shut the fuck up. If you had half the heart that Ellsworth had, I might listen to your opinion. I wouldn't agree with it, but I might listen to it. But you can just blow it out your ass, because if you think for 1 second that AJ did not wholeheartedly approve of how that match went down, you got another thing coming.
Dude, AJ, and this came out recently. As far as like how they've been booking AJ, and I've been mildly critical of this, and also how they're booking the champion on Raw. It seems like there is a degree of sarcasm / comedy that has been going on both ends of the spectrum, on Raw and on SmackDown, surrounding their major championships. And part of me is like really sick and tired of it. I want to see things get nasty, down dirty, a little more seriousness, brought into the room. But then I try to like just take a step back, when I start getting a little too upset about certain things that are going on, try to look at the bigger picture. And, there's plenty of time for that. And right now, James Ellsworth is the biggest thing in the room right now. Whether you love him or hate him, he is selling the most merch. Is he going to be next week? I don't know. But right now, people love the hell out of him. He gets one of the biggest pops on the shows, whether you love him or hate him or whatever. And look, he may have a contract. He may have a long-term contract for however long it is. You just gotta be a little more patient, because I don't think we're gonna see this side of James Ellsworth that much longer. That's me personally. And I've heard a lot of people say that they see a different side of James Ellsworth coming out real soon. I see him becoming AJ Styles toady real soon. Have you heard people talk about that? What do you think about that idea?
Right now, I think it's funny that he's the toady to the face authority. But I'm guessing that's not a far-fetched idea. I could see James Ellsworth joining the club.
Yeah, and costing Dean Ambrose. I could totally see that. But I don't think the mild comedy aspect of this whole storyline is going to take away from the violence that you're going to see in this match. I still think we're going to see a hell of a TLC match going on between Styles and Ambrose. Now, the big question is, now even though we've seen this match before, or maybe not this particular match, these two have been going at it for a while on and off the last few months. This will probably be the end of it. Who's going to win it? That's the big question here. I don't see the title changing hands, me personally. I think Styles is going to keep it, because I think it's going to lead to something huge coming up at the what is that place the Royal Rumble is at? The Alamo Dome.
Oh, there's no basement there, by the way.
Lies. That is a lie, dude. There is too. No matter what those people surrounding Pee Wee Herman in that movie said, there is. Don't believe them. Don't believe them, folks.
Listen, I'm gonna lay a little bit of fact on you. There is no basement at the Alamo. There is no sex in the champagne room.
Oh.
And there is no trophy in the Packers' future this season. Those are 3 facts that you just need to accept. I've already accepted that there is no trophy in the Bears' future this season, just for the record. I want you to know that I've accepted that.
That's harsh, dude. That's really harsh. No, I have two. I don't know what the hell's up with the Packers. They suck this year. I'll even say that. I think, nonetheless, I think these two are going to put on a hell of a match. Whether there's a basement at the Alamo Dome or not. Oh, what the hell? These guys aren't even going to be in the Alamo Dome. They're going to be in. Let me quick look it up here.
The American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, which is like right next door to. No, probably not right next door. It's in Texas though. So yeah, it's interesting. They're going to be right back there.
Are you on drugs besides the cold meds?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure that the American Airlines Center, which is in Dallas, as I said, is not really next door to a venue that's in San Antonio.
Dude, I didn't do good in geometry in high school, so don't talk to me about where cities are and where stuff is, okay?
And you also didn't do well in remembering what classes you were in, because clearly, if you're trying to say that something that's in San Antonio is close to the American Airlines Center in Dallas, and then you are going to fail geometry because that's math.
Well, whatever. I failed social studies too, so bite me.
I think you meant geography was the word you were looking for.
That's what I said. Geography. Jeez Louise. Freaking Max. Jeez. Thanks a lot.
Hey, don't take it out on me just because your cold medicine is not affecting you as much as you think it is.
It's wonderful, damn it. Leave my cold medicine alone. Oh yeah. So, dude, any final thoughts on this match before we wrap this puppy up in a cute little package and send it off to Dallas, Texas?
Well, I didn't give my prediction on who's going to win it, but let me just say, these two are putting on a hell of a show right now. These two, their mic work, their promos, their brawls leading up to this are amazing. And I cannot wait to see what these two have in store for us in a full-on TLC match. Now, here's the thing. Before I give a prediction on this, I would like to point out that I think that the fact that Ambrose is just psychotic as all get out in this lead-up. Come on, he dressed up as the Mountie on SmackDown last week and asked, "Don't you want to know why I'm dressed as the Mountie?" And then tells Daniel Bryan, "I need you to pass a message on to AJ Styles for me. Tell him the Mountie always gets his man." This would be more a match that's his style as opposed to AJ's style. But I think it'll be entertaining to say the least.
See, now I saw a little GIF earlier before we started recording this that would say just the opposite of that. I'm not saying that Dean is not fit for this match, but I think AJ is going to do just fine. Now, this goes back to the yesteryears and glory days when TNA was slightly better than it is now. And you'll have to excuse me, I don't remember exactly who was in the match against AJ Styles, but the GIF was this. He was at the edge of the stage, had someone in the Styles Clash, jumped off the stage onto a table, both collapsing the table and destroying the person who was on the bottom of the Styles Clash, which made me very excited for the fact that as much as I love Ambrose, and everybody knows I'm the biggest Ambrose mark, man, nothing would make me happier than to see something similar to that. So, I think Styles has plenty of cojones in him to do some pretty diabolical things in this match, dude.
Yeah, I think that there, to an extent, there might be some truth in that. But I think that the fact that you've got tables and ladders and chairs, oh my, thank you, George TK, tells me that you got to be crazy to be able to pull off half of what will need to be pulled off to win this match. And I really believe that that level of crazy is a Brian Pillman thing, but Dean Ambrose runs a close second.
Yeah. So, and I wouldn't be surprised for a minute if we see some blood in this match. We don't see it a lot in the WWE, but I think we're going to see some in this one. We'll see. Only other thing I'm going to bring up besides this, and I don't want to get into too much of a discussion to dissect this little nugget of what we could possibly see. I was watching the Be the Booker going on between David Hero and Damian Nelson on their show they do, which is slipping my mind right now. Pro Wrestling Report, I believe that's what it is. Damian asked David Hero, does The Undertaker show up at the end of this pay-per-view? David said, no, this show is not big enough for that. What do you think?
Does The Undertaker show up at the end of this pay-per-view? Honestly, I don't see why. Now, to be fair, I was a little confused about his appearance prior to Survivor Series. He showed up and said, "If SmackDown doesn't win, you will rest in peace," and that was it. A lot of people were expecting something that would make sense, and if you cost us this match, you'll have to face me. Like he was announcing an actual match, and in that case, I could see Dean Ambrose takes out AJ Styles. Team SmackDown loses Undertaker versus Dean Ambrose for WrestleMania. That would have made sense to me. Honestly, right. What he did set up nothing. It was a waste of 3 minutes of TV time.
Well, yeah, the most interesting thing about that was saying that he's back and he's not going to let WrestleMania define on when he shows up or not. He said verbiage something to that effect, which means he could show up whenever, unannounced. You never know when he's going to be there. So, yeah, it puts a little question mark on, okay, well, then we got to kind of keep an eye out for him because you never know when he's going to show up. Which does bear the question, if it's a big if, because, he's had lots of health issues, hip, knee surgeries, whatever he's had lately, being on crutches and rehab and not. Is he ready for a match at the Royal Rumble? That's the big question. And I think only he knows that.
It depends. Honestly, I think he needs to save what little he has left in his body for WrestleMania. I don't think he needs to work a one-on-one match at Rumble. Should he be in the Rumble match? Yes, 100% yes. For one thing, every year they put 2 or 3 legends into the put 2 or 3 legends into the Rumble match. Taker could be one of your legends this year. One, he's a current superstar, so it wouldn't take away from the number of superstars. If anything, it would add one more superstar in addition to the legends. And 2, you have one of your 2 or 3 legends already covered. So now you just got to find 1 or 2 more to take up space.
Yeah. Yep. Huge possibility there. I think if he doesn't show up within the next month and something gets set up for the Royal Rumble, you almost have to assume he's going to show up somehow, some way. Yeah. Yep, we got to wait and see. But, man, how he sounded before the Survivor Series, I don't know. I'd be, let me tell you, man, if I was on SmackDown roster right now, I'd be a little concerned, to say the least.
I think I already know who Taker's WrestleMania opponent's going to be.
Yeah, I've heard some rumors out there that it's going to be one certain guy who's slightly disgruntled right now.
No, it's not going to be him. I'm going to tell you who it's going to be.
Okay.
It's going to be SmackDown's hottest new property.
Oh, God.
Undertaker versus James Ellsworth.
Oh.
Match of the century.
The Dead Man versus No Chin Music? Oh, dude, no. Just no.
The Dead Man versus soon-to-be Dead Man.
Soon-to-be.
Dead Man versus Dead Man Walking. Dead Man versus... Dude, what the fuck was I thinking accepting a match with Taker at Mania?
Any man with 2 hands and no chin has a chance. Oh, God. But on that note, I think we're going to wrap up this one. Did you give your final prediction for that match, by the way?
Yes, I picked Dean Ambrose.
To win? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm picking Styles. And... But hey, like I said, nonetheless, we're going to have one hell of a match. Should be a decent show. There's going to be some fun stuff going on. I don't think it's anything that's going to, be earth-shattering, but should be an okay show. But we will find out Sunday nonetheless. And any pre-show matches, well, come what may, we'll find out an hour or two beforehand, I'm sure. So that's going to do it for this TLC preview predictions for Smash This Podcast. For this guy over here, the biggest heel in the room, I am JAYBONE.
Whoa.
What?
Before JAYBONE signs me off, I just want to tell everybody a public service announcement.
Oh, dear God.
Please help control the pet population. Spay or neuter your pets. Have a good night.
Good night, folks. Don't drink too much cough syrup.